Hello, Bahamas Splash Campers. The theme for today is Light of the World. The Bible verse of the day is John 8:12. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Those who follow me will never walk in darkness. They will have the light that leads to life. This time, why don't you say it along with me? Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Those who follow me will never walk in darkness. They will have the light that leads to life. Excellent.
This is my home, it's my love, it's my country. No other place in this world I would rather be. Tranquility, totally pure ecstasy. You feel, palm trees sway night and day from the cool breeze. Sunny skies kiss my thighs, bring me to my knees. Paradise before my eyes, clear crystal seas surround me. Fly away with me through the Bahama Keys. Fly away with me.
Sandy and Papa Roll had just arrived at perhaps the most mysterious island in the Bahamas. It's larger than all the other Bahama islands put together, but very few people live there. It has the largest collection of blue holes on Earth, but they are very hard to reach and are protected. It has an enormous coral reef, but a very deep trench lies beside it called the Tongue of the Ocean. This island is the legendary and mighty, the one and only Andros.
Papa Roll! Papa Roll! This island is gigantic! I heard Andros was big, but I never thought it would be this big. Where and what are we going to do today?
First, we are going to visit some family in Morgan's Bluff, and then Nicholastown, and then Androstown. We will visit all the towns until we get to Mars Bay, where I want to find a friend of mine. Her name is Cindy. She is very difficult to locate, and we won't be able to find her unless it rains.
We will only be able to find her if it rains? Doesn't make any sense.
But it does, Sandy. You will see.
Papa Roll and Sandy went from town to town visiting family. Sandy met great uncles and aunts, fifth and sixth cousins she had never knew existed. They traveled for several days and there wasn't a cloud in the sky. And Papa Roll started to worry that by the time they got to Mars Bay, it would still be dry without a drop of rain. But Sandy comforted Papa Roll and told him,
Let's pray that God will send us rain when we get to Mars Bay so we can find Cindy.
So they prayed every evening. On the fifth day, they arrived at Mars Bay, but it was still dry and there wasn't a wisp of breeze in the air.
Tonight should have been the night for us to find Cindy, but it still hasn't rained yet.
Don't you worry about that, Papa Roll. Let's go out and search for her anyway.
You are right, Sandy. We need to get some very bright flashlights, because where we are going, we won't be able to see anything without them.
At nightfall, they began to look for Cindy in the bushes. Papa Roll and Sandy followed the beam of their flashlights and searched behind trees and along the ground. But they didn't see anything besides a very few hairy spiders and really large frogs. But Papa Roll wasn't looking for them. He kept on shining his light down the dark holes and whispered down at them, saying,
Cindy! Cindy! Are you there?
There's no Cindy here.
There's
No Cindy here.
There is no
Cindy here. No Cindy here. Sorry, no Cindy here. There's no Cindy here.
I think it's time for us to go back, Sandy. It's getting late.
God knows the desires of our hearts, and He will help us find her.
Just 5 minutes more, Sandy.
Just then, a huge gust of wind blew past so hard that Sandy fell and rolled over twice. As she laid on her back with her face to the clouds, the biggest raindrop she had ever felt landed directly in the center of her forehead.
Sandy, Sandy, are you okay, my dear?
Then he shined the flashlight on her face as Sandy had the biggest smile on her face he had ever seen. Then, before she could speak again, the rain came down in torrents on the ocean of Mars Bay. But before Sandy and Papa Roll could make it under a tree for cover, in a blink of an eye, the rain stopped. It had only rained for like 20 seconds, but it was like a flood. Then suddenly, the ground started to crackle and rattle, and it was like the earth came to life. Hundreds, no, thousands of land crabs of all colors began to crawl out of their dark holes that were now filled with water. Sandy and Grandpa Roll's mouth dropped to the floor as they witnessed a majestic event unfold before their very eyes.
James! James! Is that you?
Cindy, we found you.
Sandy shined the light toward Cindy's voice and saw that she was a giant orange land crab with 2 large claws, each the size of Sandy's whole body. Sandy just stood there speechless.
What in the world are you doing here, James? And who is this lovely little girl beside you?
Don't be scared, Sandy. Cindy's a very kind giant crab.
She's beautiful.
Well, thank you, Sammy. Please stay a night with me in my home, and I will tell you some crazy adventures of your Papa Roll and I when we were around your age.
Sandy smiled and took Cindy's giant claw, and they walked together to Cindy's large hole by the sea. As Sandy entered Cindy's house under the ground, Sandy said a prayer of thanks for sending the rain and allowing her to meet Cindy the giant crab.
Surround me. Fly away with me through the Bahama Keys. Fly away with me and you'll see you never wanna leave. Beautiful people, smiling faces. Don't care who you are or what your race is. My Bahama land, yes, my country. Come fly away with me.
Did you like today's adventure? I had so much fun. Do you remember the Bible verse of the day? Let's say it together one more time. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Those who follow me will never walk in darkness. They will have the light that leads to life.